How you doing? Hi, Ryan. Let's see. Kenyon Myrick. Yes. Very, very talented guy. The guy in LA, Weiss, I think. He's okay. I don't think he really rises to the level of a true watchmaker yet, but he may. Somebody take a look at. Keaton Mayak, yes, very good, excellent watchmaker. Oh, well, I got sort of a late start. Hi, Clyde. How you doing, man? Uh, I was a friend of mine in India contacted me, and they're a little concerned. He said that their system would be overwhelmed if they got a big attack of this. Anyway, was what I thought might be a good thing to talk about today is to talk about using this time, especially for those of us who are isolated, not out of choice. Some of us are isolated because we prefer it, but not here. The What I'd like to suggest is that we take a look at watchmaking courses and what experiences that you may have had, and I can tell you about the ones I've had. Hi, Blaine. How you doing? Japan's another place I haven't. How are things in Japan? Are they got things tightened up, or they more like Korea and really responded well and got everything back? I hope wherever you're from, things are going well. I hope things get better here too. Anyway, let's talk about watchmaking. First of all, for sort of an amateur watchmaking, which is I I am less than amateur almost. I basically buy parts and put them together. Uh, it takes some knowledge, and a little bit of they say a little bit of knowledge is dangerous, and that's quite true with this. So, but it's a lot of fun, and you can really learn a lot about watches. Have any of you guys taken any watchmaking courses? No, yeah, maybe. Okay. Um, Hi Abdul, how you doing? Um, so let's see. We'll sort of I'll tell you the ones I've taken, and maybe that for what they're worth, we can get a discussion about it. One of the first ones I took was one that was hi Clyde, um, hi Chris, uh, but now it's kind of postponed. Abdul, the ones that there are two of them that I'm thinking of. One is an online course, and it's through Fry. Hi, Johnny. And so that one, Auto Fry. Uh, and let me hang on a second. I'll get the name of the course and everything else. Hi, Jeffrey. Um, Classrooms. Here it is. And it's, oh boy, it's called the Time Zone Watch School. And it's at timezonewatchschool.com. And what they have is that they have a toolkit that they recommend, and then they have a movement and everything else, and then they take you through this course. And it's okay. I mean, it's a pretty good course as far as I can see. It doesn't look like a good course uh, because it's this big web page and you follow it through the web page, but I found it really good. Joas. I found it to be good because sometimes with a video they're going along, you do this and you do this and you say what what was that. Whereas with a web page they have it's they lay it out. It says first you do this. They show you a picture. They tell you the steps, and I found that uh, easier to follow. Now the good thing about the video is that they show them actually doing it. So so that's one of the options you might have. And you can do it. I mean, now is a good time. The only problem now is getting the parts, possibly. Most of the parts that I have now used are sourced in China, and I've had a couple movements on order for I don't know a few weeks now, and I don't know whether the holdup is because of the holdup with everything right now, or it's because it's way far away. I don't know. Hi, NS something. Local colleague of mine came back from vacation in Italy and brought a Chinese Communist Party back with him. He's a lot younger and healthier than I am, and and it messed him up. Yeah, I've found the same thing, Clyde. They've got there's been a lot of people who are younger who got nailed by this stuff. I'm not one of them, fortunately. Okay, the Japanese government has taken measured steps. They reacted quickly and decisively when yeah. I wish we had done that. We didn't. They had first. I don't even want to get into that. So anyway, so now let's talk some more. Hi, Bruce. How you doing? When you first attacked your first watch, were you nervous like hell? um, I wasn't. That's a good question. When I first did my first watch, no, I it's sort of like confidence because of my total ignorance, and it's like, oh, this is easy. You do this, you do this, you do this. Now, later on, when I started running into problems, it wasn't too easy, and the big thing is having the right tools. One of the most important tools, and I don't think it's part of the toolkit that they give you or that they suggest that you buy, is a little thing called a hand setter. And it's this little stick, and it's got a hole in it with a ring around it. And so you have the shaft for the hand, and the hand goes over it. And so what the stick will do, it'll put it on either side. And then later on, I got one of these, which are even better. You lay the watch down here, and this has a number of different sizes for depending on whether it's a second hand or an hour hand or a minute hand. And then you push this down here. And the thing is that you have to get just the right amount of pressure. And all of this stuff I got online. I think there's a place called AliExpress. I think that's the name of it. And they're pretty good. I've had real good luck with them. And so this was another one. But, the thing is that you can use needle, the tweezers that you use. Here's some of my little, this is another great thing. You take these tweezers and then you put them on either side of the hole, and then here's the shaft, and then you push it down with these. That was how I did it initially. But the easiest way is to get one of those hand setting sticks, and then you sort of put it up there and just push it down. It's really simple. Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, I know everything is. They're trying to get a stimulus package out, and that ought to be done today, from what I heard. But I've heard that for a couple days. I think it's going to be important to get it right, and they're working on that now. I think we all need to be on the same political side, regardless of your political affiliations. This is like really serious. Anyway, hi Gilberto, how are things in the Philippines? Yeah, and as something, your point is good. It seems like the new normal, how quickly, to me, retired and living out in the sticks, it's the old normal. So I don't think I would consider watchmaking. I enjoy building scale models. Sometimes I use very small parts, less than 1 millimeter. Yeah, model making would be another thing. I mentioned watchmaking because for two reasons. One, right now we got time, and another reason is, I tell you, with the more I learned about watchmaking, the more I think I could make better decisions about watch buying because you got a better idea of what's going on inside and what you may like and what you might not like. The plastic of a big pin will work. Yeah, you're right, Clyde. You can use all kinds of things. The I tend to like to try to get the right tools though. But if you can't, whip out a big pen and pop in there. Now, once if it's you want to be sure it didn't have any ink left in it too. Uh, we're currently under lockdown as well. Those companies whose employees can work from home, like mine, are instructed to do so. Okay. Yeah, my son is a professor out in California, and a couple years ago, they started encouraging them to have more online classes. And so, what they would do is they would have half they would meet in a classroom, and then half online. Now, the reason for that was he's at a California State University in Los Angeles, and because of the traffic and I mean, for a simple commute, you could be in a car for 2 hours both ways, and you just eat up all your time in commuting. And so by having some distance learning, worked out really well too. Speaking of distance learning, that's something else that um I for some reason I still don't quite understand. I've always wanted to learn basic physics. Not physics. I already had physics. Calculus. I always wanted to do calculus, and I came on lambda calculus, and I learned lambda calculus, but that's not the same. And so, I thought, well, I'll go sign up. But you can go on to a lot of really good online courses and take those. Um, Clyde, you're a hack. That I understand. Is that if you don't have one kind of tool, use your head. You can find other kinds. I would be interested in removing a solid case back of my watches to examine the movements. Yeah, the the worst kind of case back for me are the kind that you have to pry off because I can't do it without leaving a dent in the back, and I have the right tools for it and everything. The kind I sort of like the best, and I have another tool for it, is that you unscrew it. Very good for being watertight. And then a lot of times they'll have a seal, and so you got to be careful because if a seal is like a little plastic or rubber ring, and you put that in first, and so on and so forth. Now, this is one of the things, though, that I find very helpful is that you learn something about watches, and you can make minor adjustments, minor repairs yourself. Now, if you got a $50,000 watch, you don't want to mess with that. Be careful not to break anything. Yeah. I'm careful and I break things anyway. So that's, the other thing too is that when you're in watchmaking, man, I tell you, if you can do it inside of a tent, that helps because you'll be doing something and all of a sudden a gear that you just like that thing flies away, and people who are amateur watchmakers talk about a black hole that it goes into, and nobody knows where it is. But like I said, there's a lot of fun. Hi, Flippin' Zippo. Um, okay, I quickly forgot the calculus they taught us. It made me miserable as a student. Yeah, the thing is that I had so much math in high school that the only math I had in college was statistics. So, but anyway, I happen to like math, but that's nobody can explain that. Um, okay, all right. Being a Butterfingers, that's the same thing here. I try to get things down just right, but when you're looking through a loop, you got something, you got a little small thing. You're looking through here and you're moving your hands. Your fingers on your hands look like giant sausages. All right. You got this little pegwood stick or something you're trying to poke something with. But it's like I said, it's something to do. And the other thing I got on my Langenheim, uh, and the thing I like about the Langenheim, you can see so much. Let me see if you can see that. You can see so much of the movement. All you have there is this trigonal bridge, but you can see all of the different parts, and there's the big old diamond on the shaft. I don't know where the camera is on this thing. There we go. Anyway, so see the thing about that's why, among other reasons, that I like this kind of watch with a really interesting movement that you can see. Okay, I want to regulate service my vintage watches. Most have simple three-hand manual wind movements. Yeah, that's a great idea. If what I found, this watch, something happened. I don't know what it was. Probably me. And I took it down to the watchmaker because it had stopped, and he went, bippity boppity boo, and boom, it's working again. He didn't even have to open it. I had no idea what I had done, but he fixed that out. Hey, Mezzine 44. So okay, so let's talk about some online courses, some other ones. Well, there's the one that we just had. Got the name of it. Let me check. It was called. Hang on a second. The Time Zone Watch School. Time Zone is one word. Let me write that out. In fact, I am going to write down the URL on this. Let me see if I can do it here. That was the first one that I went to. The other one is a YouTube one that I really like. There's this English guy who is just wonderful. He has an introductory one called how to make your own watch from parts you can buy on eBay, and he gets a movement, a case. He tells you everything you need, and then he does it and he puts it together. That is incredibly helpful. So I mean, you can do that. Then he has a more extensive course, I think, that he charges for, but the introductory video that he had, that was all I needed. Of course, I had that Time Zone course and totally destroyed a Sellita. So how much money did you need to invest in money for a course and tooling? Okay, Johnny, good question. How much does it cost? Well, it was a lot less than any of the watches I own. That's the first thing. Let me say, I think the course, this is the Time Zone course, was like $100. No, it wasn't 100. It was like $74. So that's probably about 50 quid or something like that. I'm not sure. And so that wasn't much. Now, this was the most useful. It was $84 for what's called a desktop workbench, and that's been the best investment. The other things you have to buy for the tools, what I did, you can buy them on different levels, and I think for this is that it's better to have fewer tools of the best quality. Bourguignon, not Bourguignon, but let me see, what's the name of that guy? Here it is. Get out my. These are some of the different things. One of the most useful things I have is this little guy here, and he goes right over my glasses. And I'm left-eyed as well as left everything else, and so I can just put that here like this, and then I can go. Whoops! See, that's how come I. Hang on. Let me see. What else can I break? Time I get that. Here we go. Here's another one. I got one to drop and one to take a look at. This one is the cheap one. My good one took me almost 6 months to get. Okay. Dumox. DUMOXL. Dumoxel. These are really excellent ones. And yeah. Dumont. I'm sorry. DUMONT. Dumont Instruments. There are other ones. Starts with a B. I forgot the name of it. Let me take this thing off. So I don't know, a couple $100 or so for minimal tools, and you can spend more on it. And, you know, as you go along, it's not that expensive. I mean, after buying stuff, Bourguignon. That's right, Javier. That's the one I was thinking of. Bergeron. Bourguignon. That's right. Yeah. That's the one I was trying to think of. Those are excellent tools, and I have a lot of them too. They tend to be more expensive. If you want to go cheap, go to Amazon and look for watchmaking tools. And you can find some. They're not very good, but you know, if you don't have to buy a lot of them. I mean, when I say they're expensive, that's a very much of a relative term. Like, and you spend $5 for a tweezer instead of $1. All right, so it's that kind of economy. All right, Dumont is good too. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Dumont and no second R. Yeah, all right, whatever. Okay. Okay. Hey, Ryan, what's up? Richard Perret Watchmaker is a good YouTube channel. He is English watchmaker. Richard Perret. Okay. Blanco. Yeah. Well, that's my Seiko 5. That's right. My Seiko. It's watchmaking as a starting course. It can make my Seiko 5 look expensive. So that's a good thing. Let's see. Can you recommend a bracelet strap changing tool? Yeah, that would be the Bourguignon. Hang on a second. Let me get. These things. This is one of the tools for opening one of those flip open cases. I've used it mainly. I now use it for taking the case off of my iPhone. But it's something that, and I've had to file down the tip of it to get under some of these. But you know, this is another tool. Now this is sort of a cheap one, and it's for what you do is you on the case back. They have these little notches. And you put these 2 horns in a notch, and you open it up with that. So this is a handy tool. Now this is a cheap one. I didn't get an expensive one of these, but I figured I didn't need it for opening a case back. This one, this is a tool that I got for my taking the hang on. Taking straps off. Let me see if I can find this is a Bourguignon. This is a Bourguignon, and the number on it is 3153. And this is a good one. What you do with it, you have one end has a fork on it, and to take a strap off, you use a fork. But to put it back on, you use this pointed end, and you take the point and you put it right at the tip of the spring bar, and you push it in to get it back on again. So this is an incredible tool. If I wear a watch a lot, I don't like to put a like a $400-500 gator strap on it that you know. And so what I'll do is that I'll buy a not too expensive. They're not a cheap strap, but a not too expensive strap, maybe a leather strap with a gator print on it, and just wear that the heck out of it. And then if I go to something fancy, I'll put on my good strap. And so, a tool like this is really important. My favorite straps, though, are the ones on FP Journe, and those are all those quick release straps. And anybody with one of the newer overseas, the new overseas, when I say new from 2016, they have some special thing, and you can just pop them off and change them. They come with 3 straps, and I thought, well, put a special thing in there for them. But I think the best ones, and you can get these, you just push a little thing on it and pop the strap off. A lot easier to change straps that way. NS something, Blaine Colbert, 6767F for leather, 6767S for bracelet. Okay. And 7825 if you do a lot of bracelets. There you got it. NS something has a has a more complex on it. Let's get together and start a micro brand. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Jeffrey, let me tell you something about that. I have, well, I got something coming up, and there are lots of things that have happened, and I hope to have a really top-notch movement, brand new. And then I'm going to work around to find the dial, the case, and all of these things, and try to put one together. But not for a micro brand. I think it'd be more fun if we had sort of a formula to put a really good watch together. You get a really good movement, and then you get a good case, and then a good dial on it. This one guy I know said, well, he knows the grandson of the guy who the dial maker and watchmaker, I guess, maybe just a dial maker for the Emperor of China. So this guy goes way back. This is his grandson, who's probably pretty old by now, and he makes bespoke dials. There's another guy who lives not too far from me who also makes enamel dials. So there are all kinds of possibilities where we could end up getting a really good watch. These watches that are selling for, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, and knock one together for a couple thousand. Heck, why not? And have a lot of fun doing it. The trouble is that it would be one movement I could not break. I mean, I have to be really careful. So these are some things, that we can think about over the break. This is another kind of tweezer. These are plastic tweezers, and I had one that I used so much that they broke. And so I got a whole set of them on Amazon, and they're good for all kinds of stuff. Like you got a bunch of gears and all kinds of stuff laid out. And sometimes you want to pick up things, or you want to tighten something, or you're pulling out on this one, this has challenging lug bars on it. Anyway. Okay. Hey, GMD master. let's see what else is going on. The JLC Master Compressor Extremer is the first to have the universal strap removal system. A tab just releases a standard spring bar. Okay, all right. That I don't know who the first was. What I do is that there's this really good strap maker in Paris. I forgot the name of it, but I've got a friend of mine had some straps for my hemispheres, and man, those straps are so good. Uh, Things are getting iffy about import now because most of them are skin straps, and you have to be really careful about that. Camille for May. No, it's not that. Forgot the name. Pull tab spring bars should be more common. I think you're right, Gilberto. I think that's what I use. Some of these. This one. This is one of the funny things. One of the more complex and cooler looking, but a real pain in the neck to work with, because I got it in this too. See, this one doesn't have the typical spring bars. Instead, what it has, I think that's what it has, is that it has a shaft. It has a shaft in here, and then you unscrew the thing from the shaft, and you have to hold the other end with a screwdriver. That's what this has, and they're pain in the neck to deal with, but I guess they're sort of some kind of traditional kind of thing or something like that. Anyway, hard to find ostrich skin bands. Oh boy, yeah, they're getting harder to find, Johnny. I found one, and I have one that I got. There's this place that's called Pana something or other straps. I think they used to make straps, especially for Panerai, and then they started, and I think they're called Pana something or other. They're a strap company that I use a lot. And what they'll have every now and then, they'll have a really super good, expensive strap that they're trying to unload at a really good price. And being the good vulture that I am, I'm there to get them. I think it may have been the place where I got my wife that really great green gator strap. But there are all kinds of places that if you start looking around. Anyway, well, guys, my time's up, and okay, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Aaron Bespoke combat straps. Yeah, that's another one. NS something. Yeah, I had this really neat combat strap that I made a watch for my son, and he's very much of an outdoorsman, and so I thought, well, I'll put together a field watch for him, and I got some of those combat stripes. So anyway, guys, GMT Master, you get. We'll have another one at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So if you missed this one or came late, or we'll think of something new to talk about. Okay, everybody, take care, stay well, and stay safe.